For Steve Forbes' Demon Deacons. Last year, these two were two of the first teams out of the NCAA tournament field. They would like to avoid a repeat of that fate in 2025. Lee Cassell, AJ Desai, Jeffrey Clark are officials. Wake Forest in possession first. Efton Reed with the ball, and note that Reed has scored the first points for Wake Forest in the Deeks' last 5 games.
Wake Forest not at 100%. Cameron Hildreth still surviving from the flu. Ty-Laur Johnson did not practice yesterday with flu-like symptoms.
Well, there's a good start for Hildreth, whose minutes have been way down of late. An opening salvo with a 3 for Wake. Here's the starting 5 for Pitt. Damian Dunn's back out there. Great defensive game against UNC. Cam Corhan and Zach Austin maybe had the game of his college life. 5 blocks, 15 points in the win over Carolina. That ball was deflected, according to AJ Desai, not according to Steve Forbes.
Yeah, great help by Efton Reed inside.
Leggett puts up a long 2, grabbed by the Appalachian State transfer Trayvon Spillers. Here is the Wake starting 5. They've been much better since Johnson took over at the point 9 games ago. Sallis, Hildreth, Spillers, and Reed. Dunn gets a deflection, hits the deck, and Dunn scoops it to Corhan for the first Pitt points.
Great job of hedging on that ball screen in the middle third, getting the deflection. Corhan to the rim, and what a pass by Dunn. Great hustle, and those are the kind of plays that are going to make the difference in this game today. Both these teams equally matched. Then it comes down to the details and the 50-50 plays.
Wake is 10-1 at home. Their only loss last Saturday. They gave Duke a fight, though, before losing by 7. And they get a basket from Spillers, averaging 10 and 9 in his first year with the Deeks.
Spillers gives them that right side of the box score effect. He's really good rotating. He's good on the glass. He gets tips and deflections, and he blocks shots at the rim.
Austin, great three-point shooter, rattles in his first, 42% from out there. Zach Austin, the Winston-Salem native, playing in front of a big hometown crowd.
He's made the most threes for Pitt. You have to know the scout and get out on him. He's got range.
Into Reed, working against Corhan. Efton Reed gets to his left hand, spins around to his right, but spun too far. It's a travel in the second Wake Forest turnover.
Kevin, once you catch it that deep, you got to go over your left shoulder. You don't need to counter. You already had buried him in the rim.
Jeff Capel, his team knocked out Wake in the ACC quarterfinals last year, lost to UNC in the semis, one of the first 4 out. Right now, Joe Lenardi says they're one of the last 4 byes. Very difficult non-conference strength of schedule. Wake is in the next 4 out. So the game more important for Wake than it is Pitt, but it will be a quad 1 win for the Panthers. Missed 3 by Reed. Here is Lowe. He and Leggett, good rebounders for guards, good all-around players for Pittsburgh. Hard drive by Dunn. He gets Sallis in the air, and Damian Dunn draws the first foul of the game.
Damian Dunn was such a good pickup out of the portal for Jeff Capel and his crew. I mean, you knew he was coached hard, and he played good defense coming from Houston, but he also played with a good backcourt. L.J. Cryer, Jamal Shedd, Emmanuel Sharp. I mean, when you play with those kind of guys and you pick up somebody like this in the portal, you know you're going to have a leader. You know he knows how to play defense, and he can get stuff done on the right side of the box score as well.
And the numbers weren't great, but he was banged up. And remember, Jeff Capel followed Kelvin Sampson at Oklahoma, is very close with him, coached his son Kellen. Kellen was on staff as well, so Jeff Capel got a very high recommendation from Kelvin Sampson. And Dunn, who's missed some time with a thumb issue, has been a huge impact player for Pitt. There's a 3 for Johnson. No good. And swatted into the hands of Leggett. Wake Forest, one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the nation. A 1 for 3 start.
Well, the last 2 threes were people that don't make threes for Wake Forest. Cameron Hildreth made the first triple in the corner of the first points of the game.
Austin missed a clean look. Rebound to Reed. Wake Forest, the 2nd worst offensive team in the ACC. Only Virginia has been worse. Hildreth into the lane, a hard take, and he is fouled. So the first free throw is coming for Wake Forest, coached by Steve Forbes. 10-1 at home. Wake has been awesome at home in Steve Forbes' tenure. They just haven't picked up enough quality road wins or neutral site wins to get to the tournament. It's another team that's very close. But you look at what's coming down the stretch, Deb, you really need to win this game, and then some road games at Stanford, at SMU, at Duke. They will need to pick up as many wins as they can to crack the field.
He told us before the game today, Steve Forbes, that this is the first time in his tenure at Wake that he is returning his leading scorer. That would be Hunter Sallis, who is yet to get going.
Free throws for Hildreth. He's got 5 of the first 7. Pitt goes to Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Twin brother Jorge will come off the bench as well.
At 7 feet tall, he's a pick and pop guy more than he is a roll.
A step back for Leggett, rims it out. He started 0 for 2. Hildreth down the floor to Reed. Caught it deep, back for Spillers. A 3 for Johnson. He's missed his first 2.
Well, he's only made 7 on the season, and remember, he's coming off the flu, didn't practice yesterday.
Low on the drive, lost his footing, was able to get it out to Dunn in time, and Dunn is stripped by Johnson. A very active defender. Johnson crosses Leggett, lobs it for Spillers. It looked like Johnson had a clear lane to the basket there. Dished it off instead, and then a Wake Forest foul will send it the other way. We expected a close game. We're getting that so far. 7-7, and with it, it's February 1st. We're starting the penultimate full month of the season in college basketball. And for folks who maybe are just tuning in into football, this is the kind of day where you get to know the stars, the standout teams, the teams that are going to matter come March. And of course, Carolina Duke. If you've heard it once, you've heard it a million times. It always delivers, because it always does. 7-7 here, Pitt and Wake Forest. Jalen Lowe denied by Johnson. Got a block and a steal early. Late shot clock 3 missed by Dunn. Good box out by Cameron Hildreth.
Coming off the timeout, a really good job by Wake Forest. Let's see if they get Hunter Sallis going. 4 of their 5 shots have been threes, and only one guy who makes them has taken it. That's Cameron Hildreth.
And Sallis hasn't taken a shot yet. 4th leading scorer in the ACC. Freshman Juke Harris is on the floor wearing number 2. Hildreth works it inside to Spillers. Strong finish.
Yeah, that's what Spillers can do. Left-handed on the left side of the floor. Steve Forbes gets him in a single 2-man game with Hildreth. It's a nice finish at the rim.
Pitt has made just 1 substitution so far. Panthers went only 7 deep in the 8-point win over UNC Tuesday. Really tightened the rotation for that game. Swing it to Lowe. Diaz-Graham. Freshman Harris on him. Diaz-Graham takes him inside. Can't finish.
That's the way to guard him, though. You got to make him put it on the bounce. You can't let him catch and shoot.
2-point lead for Wake. 6 minutes gone by. Here is Sallis.
Playing with an empty block, Kevin. A lot of space.
And to Spillers. Driving on Diaz-Graham. Trayvon Spillers, very skilled player with the last 2 Wake buckets.
Long and athletic, active. Back-to-back baskets by Spillers.
Meanwhile, Pitt has missed its last 6. Second best offensive team in the ACC against the second best defensive team. And Leggett snaps that streak with his first 2.
That's the challenge with the Pitt backcourt, is trying to keep them out of the paint. They do a really good job of spacing the floor, and they are hunting a piece of that paint on every possession.
Johnson. Diaz-Graham got trapped in the corner. He commits his first foul, and Pittsburgh's second.
Trayvon Spillers, 5 double-doubles coming off 8 points and 8 boards, and the last one does a nice job on the single side 2-man game. And then again, another post up right here, and he just faces up, goes 1 strong dribble to the midline. Really nice finish.
He'll take a breather for the first time with an early 6. Nice, easy scouting report. They saw him in the NIT last year. He got a double-double against Pitt for App State. There's a lot of double-doubles this year. Sallis, first shot of the game, comes 7 minutes in. Leggett stumbled off the rebound there. Corhan back on the floor for Diaz-Graham. Lowe sets up Dunn for a line drive miss from 3. Demon Deacons a slower tempo team as the year's gone on. Lob inside to Reed. There's a whiff for the 4th Wake Forest turnover.
See, that's part of the decision making, right? Knowing who to get the ball to, when and where, giving Efton Reed a chance to shape up to the ball.
Last 5 games for Wake, should say, just 45 assists, 52 turnovers.
Yeah, see, that's my point about taking care of the basketball and getting it to the right players. I mean, Hunter Sallis is yet to get going.
Leg it into Corhan. One hard dribble, goes up against Reed, stands his ground. Parker Fredrickson, first action on the floor. Hildreth against Austin. Hildreth to the left. Austin with his first block shot of this game after 5 of those on Tuesday. ACC leader in shot blocks.
I mean, undersized, really good, standing up Cameron Hildreth. You know Hildreth is going to spin when he drives.
And then nobody guards Austin, who misses a 3. Jorge Diaz-Graham fighting for the rebound. It's taken away by Sallis. 8 minutes in, they've gotten Sallis 1 shot attempt.
That was on a baseline out of bounds.
Harris for 3. The freshman out of nearby Salisbury, North Carolina. Sallis sets it up. Lowe driving. Left-handed finish for Jalen Lowe, his first bucket.
You see, Parker Fredrickson, while he's on the floor, has to be able to find ways to knock down shots. Otherwise, the Pitt guards are going to isolate him on a one-on-one opportunity.
And he has not been knocking down shots this year, just 21% from 3.
Yeah, he's 2 for his last 10, but he did make 2 in the Louisville game.
Reed trying to bail himself out of trouble with a one-legger. Here comes Lowe, 17.6 a game, 6th in the ACC in scoring. Misses badly on a deep 3. Pittis is not getting good looks, which Wake Forest will do to you. And the Demon Deacons will keep it with a 3. Feels like a team that can play itself more into contention this next month.
Well, let me say this first. There is a lot of basketball in front of us that has yet to be played, with some quad 1 opportunities that you have to take advantage of. Stanford I like. I love Maxime Renaud. Leads the league in scoring and rebounding. I think he's done an excellent job, Kyle Smith has, in the first year in the league. It's a tough road trip out there for everyone, so I like their chances to get some W's. But I also like both of these teams here. I think they both are good enough on the offensive end. Certainly Wake's a little bit better defensively than in years past, but they both have star power, and that matters because they can make plays.
And Sallis makes one there. He's not scoring, but he does have a couple of assists as he sets up Reed. Pitt, meanwhile, started 2 for 3. Panthers are just 2 for 12 since that. A steal for Fredrickson. Parker Fredrickson, reverse finish.
What a big-time play for the sophomore. He only has 14 threes and 7 twos coming into the game, so he doesn't get a lot of layups.
And Hildreth jumps in the passing lane, takes away from Austin. Sallis, top 2, off the window and good. Timeout, Jeff Capel, who was screaming about a travel on Sallis. But Wake Forest, 15-4 run for the Demon Deacons. Pitt has gone cold, 4 of 15 from the field, but Dunn will drive it there and get fouled by Hunter Sallis, who collects his second.
I love the ATO by Jeff Capel. This is why you call the timeout, because you know now Wake is up their level. They've ramped it up, and what do? You either go back door or you put it down on the deck and you drive it hard to the rim to get an and one opportunity. It's a great call from the bench by Coach Capel.
And it gets Hunter Sallis out of the game at the 9:29 mark. Johnson and Spillers return to the floor for Sallis and Harris. Pretty thin Wake rotation. We'll see how long he sits.
I might expect a little token pressure right here by Pitt. Yeah, here comes some pressure off the made free throws. I like it because you're going to apply pressure with pressure, right? Especially with Sallis out of the game. It's a good time to bring it.
Dunn and Leggett jump. Johnson, who turns it over. Lob down to Dunn, fake scores, and he gets 5 points, Damian Dunn, in about 15 seconds.
I like the pressure because it's one less ball handler when Sallis goes to the bench, and now you're making Johnson make decisions.
Take 8 seconds to get it across there, and they're into the run of the offense pretty late. Hildreth thought about a three, instead feeds Reed. And a non-shooting foul on the reach in there. That'll go against Dunn, his second.
It's a 1-2-2 three-quarter court, and when you drive up the floor and you pick it up at mid-court, of course Pitt's going to bring the trap. You want to keep it in the middle or in the middle third, but you got to move the ball before the trap comes, and certainly don't pick it up at the mid-court strike.
Oh, we just had a huge crash between Hildreth and Corhen, and Cameron Hildreth still down. Well, Dunn just picked up his second for Pitt. Corhen picks up his second for Pitt, and the officials are going to review this play. About 40 seconds. Sallis, Dunn, and Corhen each pick up their second. Papa Amadou Kante is on for Pitt, number 4. His first minutes in the last 2 games as Hildreth misses. Lowe crosses him over. Jalen Lowe, long 2-point jumper is pure.
You learned that playing on the blacktop right there. Put him on his hip, keeps Hildreth on his hip, gets separation that way. Jalen Lowe has great separation skills in the open floor and in the quarter court.
7-0 Pitt run. Reed goes into the substitute. Conte and finishes over the top.
Yeah, I like that move. Go one-on-one, score in the low block. You're catching it in a place on the floor where you can finish.
Leggett shakes loose. Miscommunication on the switch there, and Ishmael Leggett has 4. Leggett had one of the games of his career last year against Wake, 30 in the ACC tournament quarterfinals. Averaged over 22 against Wake in their 3 meetings last year. Pitt won 2 of the 3. Wake won here. Fredrickson off the screen. Back for Johnson, slashing, dishing. Hildreth, 3 to shoot it. Late shot clock lob, and Austin called for a foul. Jeff Capel just pleading his case, falling to the floor, and the foul will be the first on Zach Austin.
Coach Capel didn't like that.
149 over the last 100 meetings. Every time they play, we update this graphic, and it's 51-49 or it's 50-50. And Blue Devils have a chance to pull away a little bit this year. A very special team still has not lost in ACC play.
I don't think they're going to lose. I think their perimeter size is a factor today. Cooper Flagg is a factor today. Malawach, in his first experience playing in this matchup, is going to protect the paint. I think Duke's defense is just too much.
Anything to the fact that it's the first Duke Carolina game for a lot of these kids, and that UNC has a few players who have played in it?
Nope.
Nope.
Not today.
It's just that level of maturity for these Duke players.
I think so. In their house with 9,300 strong. 9,301, because I'm going to be in. Exactly. I'm going to be in there as well.
Because you won't have enough basketball today.
No, never do.
That's, if we know anything about you, you never have enough basketball, Debbie Antonelli. Jalen Lowe will lob it into Leggett. Have you done a triple header?
Of course. The last time I had a double header, ACC women's semifinals in the tournament in Greensboro, and then went over and called the Duke Carolina game on the ACC second screening with my guy Wes Durham and Mark Packer.
I'm just saying, maybe you could squeeze in one between this game and 6:30.
I would like to.
Yeah. Well, the Wake Forest fans are hopping mad right now. There was a low potential elbow, maybe sold in the previous possession, and then the foul's called here. I'm not sure for what on Spillers.
Maybe across the face.
Steve Forbes just catching a glimpse of the replay as Leggett hits the first of 2. Well, he feels like they're better equipped defensively to guard Ish-Leggett this year, Steve Forrest, because last year he got a lot of switches on some of the big men like Andrew Carr and just owned Wake. He had a season-high 22 in the first game and then a season-high 30 in the last game, which ended effectively Wake Forest's season. 139th game of Ish-Leggett's career began at Rhode Island, and he has flourished here with Pitt. ACC 6th man of the year a year ago, full-time starter this season. 7 to play first half, Wake by 2. Here's Fredrickson into Reed. They have been good in the paint today, but Leggett comes over.
It's too slow moving on that move. You got to make that move quicker when you catch it that deep.
Low, and here he'll be called for an offensive foul as Hildreth ends up on the floor yet again.
When I asked Cameron Hildreth before the game how he was feeling, he said, from a flu standpoint, he's better. From a fatigue standpoint, he's not quite there. And I said, Cameron, come on, man. Nobody plays as hard as you do. That would be an example of it right there. Did he get established?
He's taking any breaks he can because typically Cameron Hildreth is in constant motion. You tracked this yesterday, talking to him, the miles he's run in games this year. Over 9 miles in the game against Michigan earlier this season.
And he averages 7.3 miles a game in these 8 games. It's impressive.
Duke Harris is fouled with 1.9 to shoot. Second foul against Austin. This is starting to become an issue for Pitt. Three starters with 2 for Jeff Capel. Talking to Milan Brown on the Pitt sideline. Duke Harris, 61% free throw shooter. Nice coming out party against Duke. Team high 14 a week ago. Wake gave Duke a real fight. They had a 17-1 run in the second half. Held Duke to a 1-for-19 start to the half. But the Blue Devils clamped down late, won 63-56.
Well, this is the big lineup on the floor for Pitt right now. When you got both the twins out there and Diaz-Graham. But they both shoot the 3 extremely well, so they space the floor.
Conte fouls Reed, 1-1 coming for Wake. Hey, big women's basketball game in the ACC tomorrow. Hannah Hidalgo and third-ranked Notre Dame head to Louisville, take on a very good Cardinals team. It's at noon Eastern on ESPN2. A lot of great talent in the ACC this year. Notre Dame, the best championship threat in your view?
No question. Right now there's a little bit of separation between Notre Dame and everyone else in the ACC. However, Notre Dame hasn't played NC State or Duke yet, and they'll get their hands full with Louisville and Jeff Wall's team, who survived the game on the road at SMU earlier in the week. Hannah Hidalgo is one of the top players in the country. Must-see TV. She's second in the nation in scoring, and the best scorer in the ACC and in the nation right now is Tanaya Latson at Florida State. Both of those guards, if you get a chance to check them out, you should.
Yeah, not only the points, as you saw, but the steals. 4 a game for Hidalgo. One-woman fast break for the Irish. 3-point lead off the missed free throw by Reed for the 1-1. And Leggett starting to take over for Pitt. He's got a team-high 8.
You'd think with the 2 twins out there that it would be less space on the floor, but there's actually more space because of the way they play. And the guards for Pitt are so good at getting into gaps. Here, dribble handoff, and just doing a nice job of snaking behind that ball screen. Leggett's hot right now. Somebody's got to figure out if they can cool his hand off a little bit.
Remember, 22.3 a game against Wake last year, an early 8. Low for Diaz-Graham. Hildreth now picks up Low.
Got a mismatch inside.
Had Diaz-Graham against Johnson. Low somehow got that shot up, rebounded by Harris.
And Wake has done this without Hunter Sallis, who continues to sit on the bench with those 2 personal fouls.
Sallis has been out since the 9:29 mark. Since he committed that second foul on a three-point play, Pitt has outscored Wake Forest 13-5.
Juke Harris had a mismatch inside. He was trying to get the ball to swing to his side of the floor. Johnson
just hoists it and gets bailed out on the foul by Leggett with 4.7 to shoot. That's Ish Leggett's first. So Wake will be in the double bonus the rest of this half. Ty-Laur Johnson, sophomore from Brooklyn, making his 9th consecutive start. And everything changed when he jumped into the lineup. He was averaging 3 points, 1.5 assists per game as a reserve, 8 points, 4 assists as a starter. Came over from Louisville. A lot of players who were at Louisville the last couple of years scattered into the wind, hit the portal after the disastrous 2 years, and there was a lot of talent there. But taking some teaching, taking time to mold Ty Johnson into the Wake Forest habits and the Wake Forest way. But he's really thrived of late for Steve Forbes. Leggett going to work again outside the paint. That's well short.
Getting a feel for tempo, all those things Johnson has learned, different system, a lot of the same concepts. Decision makings at the rate of speed Steve Forbes wants him to play with. And right there was a nice leave at the front of the rim for Efton Reed.
Another player picks up foul number 2, Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Reed will go to the line.
Efton Reed coming off his first double-double of the season at Louisville. 11 points, 13 boards. I think he can give Wake Forest more. He's got to continue to run the floor hard. He's got to continue to make himself available with 2 feet in the paint at the rim.
Averaging 8 and 6. But when you watch him in the post sometimes, the moves you go, doesn't look like an 8 and 6 guy.
He can do more.
Well, he's got 6 and 3 in the first half. 5-point lead for Wake Forest, which has only lost once at home this year to Duke a week ago. Reed hedges out on low.
I mean, look at the size jumping out on that ball screen. Most 7-footers can't do that and recover, but it's a good tag from the weak side.
And now Reed's going to pick up Dunn back in there with 2 fouls. Dunn drives around him, and the help came from Spillers. 29-24, Wake Forest locked in defensively.
Now, considering they're holding Pitt to 36% from the floor.
And a Pitt team that shoots a lot of threes has hit just 1. Now there's a foul before the ball could be inbounded. And Damian Dunn, Ish Leggett, I beg your pardon. Ish Leggett ends up on the floor. I think that was Cameron Hildreth on the push, and there will be another official review. It's Hildreth's first. Well, let's see.
The officials do want to review this.
Previous fouls under review.
Oh, he got hit in the face by his own teammate.
Papa Conte. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it looked like that. He got hit in the face and the shoulder.
A double whammy.
Shaking it off, though.
Now, this should be the shortest review of the year once they finally take a look.
Common fouls confirmed.
The foul was on Hildreth?
The foul was called on Hildreth. I guess you can't erase the foul on Hildreth, but clearly the contact, the damage was done by Conte. The only way Wake Forest can slow down Ish Leggett is to get one of his own teammates to shoulder and elbow him, apparently. So it's only the 5th foul against Wake.
And when you're playing the way Leggett's playing, you don't want to come out of the game.
Jalen Lowe just 2 for 7 shooting start. Here's Dunn. Got Reed lying in wait. Dunn shuffles around Harris and scores it. Whether he kept the pivot foot down or not, he's ruled to have done so, and he scored 9 to lead Pittsburgh.
Reed operating out of the dunker spot, gets good position inside.
Waves off Harris for a cut out of a double team. Back to Harris in the corner. A 3! Juke Harris 2 for 2 from deep.
Wake's doing an excellent job in the paint, playing through Efton Reed. Good job. Swing, swing, bucket in the corner.
Reed comes out to hedge on Lowe, throws his hands up into the paint. Damian Dunn again to the right. Boy, yeah, Dunn is playing a physical half.
He has been aggressive. Coming off timeouts, the tendency for Jeff Capel has been to get the ball to Damian Dunn off the bounce. And Pitt's going to show a little zone here. Pitt has played 2 possessions of zone in the last 7 games. That was against Syracuse.
Well, if you're going to play zone, you got to do it at the Dome. And it works out. Leggett deflection, low takeaway. Here's Dunn with a shot fake, and Hildreth commits his 2nd.
One of the things that you can do is Efton Reed has already established himself on the baseline. So this time when the double comes, he kicks it back to the top, swing, swing, triple, and then Dunn. That might have been a little shuffle in there, but he gets away with it. And this is another drive. He's just putting his head down against an aggressive defense. It's one of the ways that you can beat that D. But right now when Dunn drives, he's driving to score. He's not looking to dish.
Hildreth takes a seat with his 2nd foul. Both Hildreth and Sallis are out of the game with foul trouble. Can Pitt take advantage? They can. Papa Conte, just a 2.7 point per game scorer, gets on the board.
Changing the rhythm of the game, Jeff Capel, by throwing this zone. And Johnson's got to do a better job ball faking on the top.
Johnson with Fredericks in the guards. Harris, Reed, and Spillers. Johnson, not a great 3-point shooter, and he's 0 for 3 today. Long rebound to Low. Wake Forest still does not have a single offensive rebound.
Coach Capel 2 for 2 in the zone.
.90 seconds in the first half. Wake has led almost the whole way. Low. Nobody within 20 yards of Damian Dunn. His 3-pointer puts Pittsburgh on top at a first half. Suffering an injury earlier this year. And then when he got the cast and splint off, he still didn't have full range of motion. So no flexibility. He's been getting more and more flexibility back every day. Starting to look like the Damian Dunn they saw in non-conference play.
Come with a short closeout on Fredrickson.
Johnson drives it and scores it. Ty-Laur Johnson.
Now that was a good decision by Ty-Laur Johnson. Nice take off the baseline bounce to the rim. 2 for 1 opportunity here for Pitt.
Let's see if they take it. Low rolls it into Conte. They really don't take the 2 for 1 at this point. They'll try to get a good one, and Leggett is stuffed. Looked like it may have gone off Leggett at the end, but it's ruled off Wake.
Leggett still looks a little shaken up, doesn't he?
And the crowd just saw what we thought we saw, which is it did go off Leggett, but can't review that in the first half. 5 to shoot for Lowe. Steps inside Johnson, and he's fouled! Oh, goodness.
My goodness, come on.
An absolute no if you're a coach. You cannot give up that foul.
We will confirm a 3-point shot.
He smacks him in the head, and they're looking at it to make sure he was behind the line. It's going to be 3 free throws here. You have to have better discipline.
3 free throws.
You have to have better time to score awareness. I mean, we mentioned Ty-Laur had the flu yesterday and is trying to battle through, but Coach Forbes continues to go with him because you mentioned a short bench. Sallis with 2 fouls. Hildreth not 100%.
They're the two leading scorers for Wake, Hildreth and Sallis. We highlighted in the open, they both have 2 fouls. So 3 free throws for Lowe.
And I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm just telling you the facts.
A short bench for Wake. We haven't seen Omaha Ballou in the first half.
Here comes Sallis and Hildreth for an offensive possession here. You don't think the games mean anything, you see this right here, right? Look how important this possession is for Wake.
Lowe, 4th best free throw shooter in the ACC, 88%. Goes 3 for 3. So Pitt leads it by 2, and Wake can hold for 1. Both teams have used a timeout already. Pitt's got Brandon Cummings in the game. First time in 2 games he's been in there, number 3, because of all their foul trouble. Staying in the zone to end the half.
Got to flash somebody to that ACC logo area.
Sallis hadn't been in the game in about 9 minutes. He'll hoist and he'll miss. So a disjointed end to the first half for Wake Forest. Demon Deacons led this game by 9. Pitt leads it by 2. Big first half for Damian Dunn with 14. Wake Forest really needs to win this game. Pitt would really like to win it, with 2 teams fighting to get their way off the ACC bubble. 36-34 Pitt at halftime. Zuba Mahenti, Josh Pastner, our studio, are coming up as we'll continue this great day of basketball shortly.
Yes.
D-Town, give it up for your junior spirit cheerleaders and dancers. Wake Forest Athletics would like to thank the following groups for attending today's game. Thank you for spending your afternoon with Wake Forest basketball. Hey fans, it's time for the road ahead, presented by Zips Car Wash. Check out our upcoming home events this week in D-Town. Zips Car Wash is here to keep your ride clean on the road ahead. Just search Zips Car Wash in the App Store or on Google Play to download the app and claim your free car wash today. Zips Car Wash, proud sponsor of Wake Forest Athletics. Hey Hannah, what's going on at halftime?
Thanks so much. So, all right, guys, it's time for everyone's favorite halftime act. It's time for the Demon Deacons diaper dance. Carolina Corporations will throw for a chance to win a Super Plus membership and rise back from Palladium. The first 50 to crawl to half court or the farthest along in 90 seconds is going to be our winner. All right, guys. Ladies, take your marks. On your mark, get set, go! And they're off. Dallas is firmly taking the lead. Everyone else needs to get started. Golden State gets in there. Heidi and Andy making their way. Go Sallis, go behind. Oh, going the wrong way. Oh, he's back. He's back. Took a detour. Maya moving in. And they lose control. We are champions. Congratulations, winner Rose. Taking away Super Plus membership to Palladium. Let's give a round of applause to all our unicorn today.
Congratulations to the winner. Also, shout out to the Baby Pantages. So, tough getting out of that pit stop, but good job there, Baby Pantages. This is Deacon gave me a live at the half. Sponsored by 0.5 Precise Tech. Collins. We've had 5 lead changes in this bout between Pitt and Wake Forest, down to 36 to 34. And we have plenty of highlights to go around. So let's go right into it. Roll takers. 6 minutes in, Trayvon Spillers. When Wake Forest gets 25 going, good things happen. And he was 3 for 3 to start off that game. Knocks it in, that's up the board. Then 90 seconds later, there's our player to watch. Snap that net. That's Jude Harris for his first look. Got 3 in Big F inside the paint. Have Sallis to the Big F. Then Hunter Sallis. Hey, is there empty? No, bank his home, and Sallis knocks that one in. And then Jude from turnovers. Wake Forest having converted 5 points. Leading the way, Harris with 7, Hildreth with 7, Stokes with 6 points, Reed with also 6 points. As Wake Forest went out to get in the locker room to get folks for a big second half. This is the second half team. D-Town hopes for you loud and proud to get this team going. Halftime score in top 25, number 5, Florida versus Tennessee. Right now, that is at the half. It's 24-21. Tennessee leads at the break. No other scores in the ACC, but there are big-time scores coming up with a game with SMU. That's what we have to watch if you're a Wake Forest fan, as well as LSU. Excuse me, we taking on Georgia Tech. So big matches up, big matches all throughout the day and night. Don't forget Carolina and Duke at 6:30. That's it for us. Big Town, get loud, bring 80 degrees back. Big game here. We sit right there, third spot in the ACC. I'm Ty-Laur. See you next time.
All right, fans, it's now time for the fall.
it back to Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum, the Joel for short. Good first half. Pitt leads it by 2 over Wake Forest. We thought this might be a coin flip game. It's been a coin flip half. Kevin Brown with Debbie Antonelli. Wake Forest led most of the way. Nice Pitt push at the end.
Yeah, I thought the shift by Jeff Capel going to the 2-3 zone changed the rhythm of the game for his team, gave him the lead. And for Wake Forest, they got to stop turning the ball over. They're shooting 55% from the floor. They've got 8 turnovers as a team. They just got to get the ball down to the paint where they've been effective.
If you're Wake Forest, you want some good news. Hunter Sallis only 2 points, and they're only down 2. Good news for Pitt, though. Damian Dunn looks like Damian Dunn again.
He has played well, and his scoring has come because he's been the most aggressive guard on the floor. He has looked to put it on the deck. He has been aggressive at attacking, especially off of ATOs. Jeff Capel has put him in a position to succeed. Their spacing has been outstanding. He's just turning the corner and putting his head down. He's been getting to the free throw line as well, and his ability to drive sets up his ability to knock down triples as well. This is a well put together first half by Damian Dunn, and let's see what Hunter Sallis has for us here in the second half for Wake Forest.
Yeah, 25-14 Pitt after Sallis' second foul, which was on a 3-point play by Damian Dunn. Wake Forest in the next 4 out, according to Joe Lenardi, as we begin February. Pitt, the last 4 buys. So Panthers in a much better position because of the much higher net, better non-conference rate. The schedule be a quad 1 win for them. It would be a big quad 2 win for Wake, and again, not a game they can really afford to lose at this point. Zach Austin, first shot of the half, air mails a 3, and the ball's off of Cameron Corhan. Pitt did not shoot it well in the first half, just 2 for 9 now from 3, and 42% for the game.
Well, both coaches maybe went a little deeper into their bench earlier in the game than maybe we had anticipated. Wake Forest has outscored Pitt 9-2 off the bench.
Wake led by Hildreth and Juke Harris with 7. Trayvon Spiller, Zepton Reed each had 6. Sallis just 3 shot attempts in 11 minutes of gameplay. Sallis out of the double team here, flips it to Hildreth. Inside Spillers, didn't bring it down and missed it long.
That's a change in the ball screen coverage by Pitt. They had been hedging with Corhan on the floor. Now they're looking to trap, especially late in the ball in the shot clock.
Jalen Lowe with 7 for Pitt in that first half, their leading scorer on the year. Dunn into Johnson, fumbles it, loses it. Ahead to Hunter Sallis. Sallis over Austin. Missed badly. Lowe took a bump from Johnson there, spills to the floor. In a very physical game. Each team with big foul trouble. 6 players with 2 first half fouls, 4 for Pitt. Lowe dribbles around Reed.
Good help. Good D. Better O.
It's with a Dunn 3 anyway. Largest lead for Pitt, 17 for Damian Dunn.
Steve Forbes told us he had to get his team better prepared on the defensive end this season, and he's done that. They have struggled offensively to shoot it, but they're shooting it well. And 7 times this season in the second half, they've shot it better than 50%. So you expect them to play well here in the second half.
Spillers into the post, out for Johnson. And they're just letting him shoot every 3 he wants. And finally, after 3 misses, he hits just his 8th 3 of the year.
I wouldn't adjust my defense until he hits a few more.
Low for Dunn. Tangled up. And a foul is called on Johnson, his 2nd.
Wake is there on the catch. They have done a great job communicating. Cameron Hildreth gets under the screening action right there, and then it's just a better offensive play. Dunn, who has had the hot hand here, knocks it down, and then Johnson straight on steps into it. That might be a good spot on the floor for him to take it.
Dunn, a little screen from Corhan. Hildreth jumps out to contest. Austin.
Good ball fake.
Lowe drives it on Sallis, who blocks the shot. Quickly the other way, it's a 3-on-2. It's Hildreth. It's a Wake Forest lead.
Again, it's the D that allows Wake to get numbers in transition. Well, they're really driving Johnson. Like, they're taking advantage of him off the bounce and his size.
Leggett, who's got at least 3 inches on him, couldn't finish. Wake Forest 5 for 12 from 3 in what has been a brutal three-point shooting season. Much better today. Sallis kept the feet down, driving it on Leggett. Rise and score for Sallis. 8-0 Wake Forest run.
That's the Hunter Sallis that I was looking for in this matchup today. His perimeter size against a smaller Pitt backcourt. In that time, he gets to the paint and elevates over the top.
Loud as the Joel's been this afternoon. Austin 3. Missed it and tipped into the hands of Sallis. We're under 16 to go, but we might be one more basket away from a Jeff Capel timeout at this point. Johnson. Late catch by Spillers. Driving Austin. And Austin with a rejection. A lot of contact there. Steve Forbes screaming about a foul. It's Austin's second block. Austin again won't shoot it this time. Hooked into Corhead, who finishes.
Really good patience and poise. Pitt comes right back down. Plays with maturity in that possession. Gets it to the spot on the floor that they want.
Hildreth controlling. Johnson again. Another 3.
Uh-oh. What? What?
Well, when you're 7 for 39, I guess you're due. 2 straight for Ty-Laur. And the Demon Deacons, after an ice-cold start to the season, have finally found the touch from deep. Leggett spinning into Johnson. He draws the 3rd foul against Johnson. Free throws coming for Pitt, but
You expect Cameron Hildreth to make threes. You expect Juke Harris.
Pitt with Ishmael Leggett at the line. Panthers are now 9 for 9 from the foul line today. Foul was Johnson's 3rd. He stays in the game. Jeff Capel has been in that position for much of this game. Frustrated with the officiating. And his team, what they've created turnovers, they forced 8, but when Wake gets a shot up, they're not creating much. Wake shooting 56% from the field right now. 6 of 13 from 3, 9 of 11 from the line. 2-point lead for Wake Forest. Again, it's a much more important game for them as their opportunities to pick up quality wins few and far between the next month plus, at least in regular season play. Into Reed. Lost his foot.
Yeah, good no call there.
9th turnover for Wake. Here's Lowe, quiet scoring game. And here comes Hildreth. Was tipped right to him. Hildreth into Dunn. Steamrolls him and a blocking foul and count the buckets. A 3-point opportunity for the senior from Worthing, England, Cameron Hildreth.
Hildreth makes up his mind about 3/4 court that this is going all the way to the rim. Watch this right here. Past midcourt, it's 2 dribbles, and he knows the contact's coming. He also knows it's really hard to draw a charge in the game anymore. So he takes the contact, absorbs that, and gets an and 1.
Saddle's done with his 3rd as well.
Did they count the basket?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Yes. The score bug in here just didn't update it right
Okay.
away, but Hildreth does convert on the 3-point play.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. He's got 13. Steve Forbes' team is up by 5. 10-1 at home. Pittsburgh has never won at Wake Forest. Trying to snap that today. 0-6 all time. Leggett gets fouled. That's a non-shooting foul. And Efton Reed picks up his 2nd. Well, so much great college basketball today. There's also a fantastic Saturday primetime game in the association. Lakers and the Knicks. LeBron at the Garden is always must-see TV. NBA Countdown starts at 8 Eastern, presented by Papa John's. Tip at 8:30, ABC, and streaming on ESPN+. Tough shooting day for Pitt. Second best offense behind Duke in the ACC by offensive efficiency. Low just lost it on the way up. A fumble. Sallis for Spillers, and Austin's called for a foul here. This time he thought he had a clean block and went straight up. There have been a couple of times where the inverse of that has happened, and Jeff Capel shows you what he thought Austin was doing.
So Coach Capel's got to be feeling like it slips out of his hands. A couple of guys for Wake have hit threes that we don't anticipate. And we're right there, two-possession game. Right? Maybe Wake Forest had that run, maybe Pitt's turn to go on a run, and they got to get it done with their defense.
Austin's third as well. Rare free throws for Trayvon Spillers. That's only his 37th free throw attempt in 22 games. As much as he plays around the basket. And he goes 2 for 2.
With that size and frame and that athleticism, it's kind of surprising he's not at the line more.
Averages 2 free throw attempts per 40 minutes.
Hunter Sallis only averages 4 free throw attempts.
Yeah. Just ask Steve Forbes about that. Dunn. And another foul. That'll go against Hildreth for his third. Old teams, old guards, and it's been an appropriately physical game. And these teams of late, you think about Pitt, Carolina Tuesday, and then Wake, Duke on Saturday. They have played in some really physical games of late.
It looked like Cameron Hildreth did get off the contact there, but Damian Dunn has been so aggressive off the bounce. Shaken off what it looks like fell awkwardly. Look at that right there today. That's pretty good. 17 points. Leggett got him started. He had the hot hand early, and then Dunn.
Asked Jeff Capel on Tuesday, what do you guys need to do to be better? That was before the Carolina game. He said, we need Dame to be Dame. And again, you look at the right hand. The right thumb is still taped up. By the way, on the play where he suffered the thumb injury this year, he also sprained his left ankle. So 2 for 1. But Dunn has been fighting hard through it. Hard to the paint a number of times today, and he'll take a seat with 19.
Well, he's taken some pressure off Jalen Lowe, having to do so much on the offensive side of the ball. 8 times Jalen has been over the 20-point mark. He leads the team in assists. And here comes that 2-3 zone that was effective at the end of the first half.
Sallis working out of the high post, gets it back from Hildreth. He didn't realize he had space. Hildreth weaving his way in, and there's the first offensive rebound of the game for Wake Forest, and of course it leads to a 3. It took him 27 minutes. The first offensive rebound for Wake in the game is a tip out by Reed, and an 8-point Deacon lead. Lowe will answer his first bucket of the half.
And see, that's why Jalen Lowe is performing like an all-ACC guard, because when Dunn goes out, now it's his turn. He had been distributing, he'd been spacing. Now he's looking to be aggressive off the bounce himself.
6-point lead for Wake Forest. Closing in on 12 to play.
That pass has got to be better in the corner. That's a 3.
Hildreth driving around Diaz-Graham into the other Diaz-Graham, and then the second offensive rebound for Wake. Too long on the putback try. Here's Guillermo Diaz-Graham. A rainbow 3, and just like that, the lead is cut in half.
70% of the shots he takes are outside the arc, and that's a perfect time in the trail to take it.
Just the 4th Pitt 3. Hildreth. Reed had it slapped out of his hands. Now they can't stop getting offensive rebounds, so they can for the moment. Diaz-Graham, that's not a 3. That is a 2-hand jam. Timeout Wake Forest. Here comes Pittsburgh.
Right people taking shots.
Now that was the team called timeout, so we're still in the 12-minute timeout zone. Ty-Laur Johnson and Wake Forest. Again, they are in the next 4 out, 7 out of Joe Lunardi's projected field as we begin the month of February. Pitt in the last 4 byes. A little bit more margin for error for them. Hildreth, and he is fouled, so Cam Hildreth will shoot 2, and we thought would be Hunter Sallis. He has not been, and yet Wake is still winning. How do you square that?
Well, top 5 in the league in scoring is Hunter Sallis, and he played limited minutes in the first half after he picked up that second foul. So he should have fresh legs after only playing 11 minutes in the first half. I still think he will help determine the outcome of this game. I think he's too good and he's too important to what Wake does. Wake with a 1-3-1 zone off the timeout.
Dunn's back in there for Pittsburgh. Hildreth with 18 to lead Wake. Dunn with 19 to lead Pitt. That shot contested by Spillers. Spills out to Johnson. He may have just kicked Sallis in the head. And Hunter Sallis is slow to get up. The officials will stop play. Looked like Spillers accidentally kicked Sallis in the side of the head.
Well, I like the switch to the 1-3-1. It's a driving lane down the lane line by Dunn, and it's Spillers at the rim. And good job by the official, safety first. 2-3 zone by Pitt.
What you said, they played 2 possessions of this the last 7 games.
Yes.
They've been living in it since the end of the first half. Hildreth weaving around Corhan. He's been the man in the second half. He's the man here. He's got 20.
Hildreth had 6 points the last 2 games because he was sick.
1 for 13 in those games against Duke and Louisville. Back to 5. 4 quick ones for Hildreth. Corhan, just his 4th shot of the game. It won't go. Pitt getting ready to bring Lowe back in at the next whistle.
Playing that 1-3-1 keeps Efton Reed around the rim and allows them to rebound.
Wake is +3 on the glass. Sallis hits the floor again. There'll be a lot of ice baths later today for these teams. Forehand trying to body up Reed. Johnson 3. Here comes Leggett. Dunn leaks out ahead of the pack, and that ball was goaltended by Sallis. Got to the glass, so give Dunn 21.
When your point guard takes that deep 3 and it's a long rebound, your point guard should be your first person back on defense. The ball hits the backboard first.
And to your point, Johnson was the 3rd one back on defense. Dunn 2 shy of a season high. 3-point lead, 9:15 to play. Critical ACC game between Wake and Pitt. Sallis across the way to Johnson. Hunter Sallis has only attempted 5 shots.
Ball's not gone below the free throw line the whole possession.
Leggett charging, and Johnson helped out from behind there with a chase down swat. It'll be Pitt ball.
You can't play on top of the 2-3 zone. You got to play inside it. So either you got to get to the dunker spot and shape up from there. You got to get somebody to the logo.
How much of this has been a well-run zone versus Wake just not seeing a lot of zone?
I think the zone is good. I do think Wake prepares for it. They practice against it. They play some zone.
Leggett hangs in the air. Too strong. Rebound Reed. Johnson in the switch on Diaz-Graham. That's a mismatch. Spillers. Johnson again blows by Diaz-Graham. He missed it at the rim. And then Conte couldn't handle it. Just mega frustration both ways, but Wake will have possession.
This is a great job right here. Just attacking a short closeout because you're quicker. Good recognition by Johnson.
Sallis, he's so good when he is given any space to rise and operate.
And when he gets to that right hand and he can get a piece of the paint.
One of the quickest releases in the ACC. 5-point lead for Wake. Lowe got stripped and fouled. And that'll go against Ty-Laur Johnson. It's his 4th foul. And he will take a seat.
Watch Sallis right here, catches it, and then he does a nice job of getting a piece of the paint to the elbow, playing through the elbow. And he just has the ability to elevate over a smaller backcourt for Jeff Capel.
Austin and Corhan replace Conte and Diaz-Graham.
Now this zone just got a lot bigger and wider. Nice job attacking inside the zone, right? They're not playing on top of the zone. Very well done by Pitt.
And let Dunn be the playmaker. Sets up Corhan. 59-56 with under 8 to play. Pitt trying to win at Wake Forest for the first time. They're 0-6.
Wake might have size over every position on the floor right now.
Reed's trying to use his. Reed barreling in and dispossessed.
Well, I think he's actually played the game under control a little bit better, and everyone in the ACC that's watched him is probably laughing. But I do think he has been a little bit more balanced. I think he's one of the best weak side defenders because he's active just like that. And I do think that he is a really good teammate. I think he cares about winning, and he cares about making plays that result in impact winning.
One of 3 returning starters from a Wake team that was close to the tournament a year ago. Sallis off the window, and if you're Pitt, don't let Hunter Sallis get hot. Back-to-back baskets for him, stretches the lead to 5.
Wake back in their man.
They have led this game nearly the whole way. Pitt's only led for a little over 4 minutes. Damian Dunn with a game-high 21. Lowe isolated against Sallis. Extends the elbow, drives hard, got the rim. Austin, a rare offensive rebound for Pittsburgh, just their 6th of the game. Leggett gets to his spot for 2.
Doesn't over-penetrate. Doesn't penetrate into the 7-footer, pulls up and hits the mid-range. He's been quiet for a little while.
Only shooting at 4 for 12, but he's up to a dozen. Rebounding, assisting, stealing, 2. Another good all-around game. Sallis misses.
That's a shot that he usually doesn't miss when he gets to the elbow and plays through there. Good slip.
Dunn, Hildreth again. Dunn into the paint. Left-handed, no, left it short.
Dunn missed Zach Austin.
And then he just picked up his 4th foul.
Hunter Sallis right here playing off that middle 3rd ball screen. And when he can get right here off the glass to his right hand. Leggett doesn't over-penetrate. You see Efton Reed right there to help. But Damian Dunn missed Zach Austin wide open for a 3 on that last play. Because the slip took up the tag and Spiller couldn't get back in time.
Diaz-Graham replaces Dunn. Out for the moment with 4. 5 to shoot it for Wake. Hildreth buries it. Oh, man. What a game. It's his flu game. Under 5 to play. 5 is the Wake Forest advantage. Crossover from Lowe. A beauty of a step back.
Wow. Gorgeous. Done.
So a little pressure again. Sallis easily passes out of it. Pitt tried for a quad 1 road win, solidify their position as a likely NCAA tournament team. Wake Forest needing a quality win badly. Sallis. Juke Harris. The freshman misses a three. Here's Leggett. Pitt without Dunn in the game with the 4 fouls. Leggett drives. Leggett lost it. It ends up in the hands of Austin, who misses another three. He's just
Big
1 for
board.
6.
Big rebound.
Nobody was taking that away from Hunter Sallis. Hasn't scored it much, but 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Spillers. High-low with Reed. Got twisted in the air. Hildreth. Sallis. No.
Good ball movement. Playing through Efton Reed. Flattens out the defense. Opens up the top of the floor. Nice extra pass by Hildreth to a wide-open Sallis.
Now Lowe gets a little bit of daylight. Sets up Diaz-Graham. He won't take it. Austin driving it around. Harris fouled, and he couldn't finish, but he will.
Does have some fouls to give. Wake does not.
And a lot more ACC basketball to come today. Florida State, BC following on ACC Network. Virginia Tech, Virginia, and a sneaky good game between 2 newcomers, Stanford and SMU. 2 other bubble teams. Austin and Pitt are now 14 for 14 at the line, and this game is tied for the 4th time. Wake led by as many as 8 here in the second half. Both teams have been nails from the line. Hildreth with Johnson, Reed, Spillers, and Sallis, the starting 5 out there for Wake.
Pitt really picking up their level right here, switching 1 through 5.
We really saw them do well against UNC. Sallis driving it into Leggett. He's got no space, and he still scores!
How does that go in? Hadn't even see the basket.
An answered prayer. Jalen Lowe finds an open Leggett. It was a low catch. Drives it into Reed. There's a foul called. A little bit of a later whistle from A.J. Desai, but a foul on Reed, his 3rd.
Nobody likes the patient whistle, do they? Watch Sallis right here. He drives into traffic, a little hezzy through the double team, and then 3 Pitt players with a hand in his face. This is just really good work right here. Playing the game low to high and then exploding to get into your jump shot.
Leggett at the line. They get 15 for 15 for Pitt. Sallis getting the right shoulder checked out here. Leggett hits them both. The 9th best free throw shooting team in the country, on pace to set the Pittsburgh record in free throw percentage. 16 for 16. They've needed every single one of them.
Back to the zone. They backed off their pressure a little bit into the zone.
Flash it into Reed, high post. Sallis. Dunn. Johnson. Sallis. 1 to shoot it. Oh! A rainbow 3! Must-win game might be a little dramatic, but it's not far off for Wake and their tournament resume.
You can't get screened here.
Oh, it's knocked away.
They try to post up Leggett.
I think Johnson may have gotten a hand in there for a takeaway.
They've been picking on Johnson all night, all game.
The Louisville transfer, an up and down day, but he has made some winning plays. Ropes it into Sallis. Spillers a rare 3. It won't go. His first 3-point attempt of the game.
I'm surprised Hunter Sallis gave it up.
Low, deep one. What a rebound by Spillers. And here's Hildreth down the floor. Wake by 5. Oh, they just totally missed him. Must-score possession for Pitt. They do with Corhan. And Jeff Capel uses his final. Tip you off. Johnson into Hildreth. There's the quick trap. And there's the first of 2 fouls to give. It'll go against Diaz-Graham. That is his 4th. He will stay in the game with 4.
Same thing, going for the hard trap, the steal.
And now you're not seeing double. Jorge Diaz-Graham's going to take over for his twin because Jorge does not have a foul and Guillermo has 4. Johnson to inbound again. Can't run this time. And Reed gets rid of it to Johnson. They tried to foul Reed. Johnson sprinting down the floor. Now, boy, now that's a tough time to foul because you lost so much time. Now, do you have to foul again if you're Pitt? Because there's only 40 on the game clock. You still play it out?
I'm playing it out. I mean, I want to get to the bonus. If you get the right player to get the ball in their hands with those, if Trayvon Spiller catches it, I'm fouling.
Johnson almost fell over the line. Dunn is back in the game with 4 fouls, and Sallis has control against Leggett. 10 to shoot for Hunter Sallis.
He's not going to give this up.
Forehand with a hard hedge. He may have to give it up.
They double him.
Johnson, and that'll be a foul against Corhan, who is trying desperately not to.
With 2 on the shot clock. He reached over the top.
Jeff Capel's not happy. I understand why, but it looked like there was enough contact.
They do a great job here of making Sallis give it up. That's a foul. He's got his body all wrapped up right there. He didn't want that foul.
So Johnson for a 1-and-1, 79% shooter. Last year he was the 7th best free throw shooter in the ACC. 2-possession game with a make. What's the play for Pitt here?
I'm looking to drive it and extend the game. They don't have any timeouts left. It's a 2-possession game. I don't need a 3 right here. I'll drive it. I put some pressure here. They'll make Pitt come back to the ball.
Lowe touches it late. Lowe drives it.
There's a foul.
17.8.
That's the right play by Lowe, though.
It's a 1-and-1 for Jalen Lowe. It's Spiller's 3rd.
So I would not let Johnson catch the ball. I would not let Hildreth catch the ball on the inbound, assuming he's going to make 2 here. And you're going to have to foul right away. No timeouts for Pitt.
Well, they haven't missed at the line today. They've got the 4th free throw shooter in the league, and Lowe doesn't miss.
You better box out.
Remember, Wake does have 2 timeouts. Back to a 1-possession game with a make.
Can run the baseline.
And he got it.
I don't call timeout here because I don't want Pitt to have to set their defense, but it's a good job of substituting by Jeff Capel so that he has a chance to set his D.
Gets done and his 4 fouls out of the game. Diaz-Graham on the inbounder, Johnson. Hildreth and Sallis around there. Oh boy, that ball is out of bounds to Pitt. It will be reviewed with 16.4 to go, and the Pitt bench thinks they may win this review.
And Steve Forbes keeps Spiller at the other end of the floor, so he's not involved in helping inbound the ball, but he keeps him on the floor for rebounding purposes.
The call on the floor is white ball. It will be reviewed.
3. Johnson, the inbounders, at 79. Reed's at 68, and Spiller's the worst one at 58.
See, he backs his offense up right here. It gives you more space to operate. If you're Pitt, you're letting Spiller catch it, and you're fouling right away.
Once again, Johnson to throw it in, and Johnson better get it in or use a timeout, and he will use the last Wake Forest timeout. Starting Johnson, and A.J. Desai saw them get tangled up, so he blows a whistle. All right, here we go. No timeouts left, and I mean, Leggett's all over. Leggett and Johnson were tangled up before the play started. Jeff Capel's trying to argue that there's a hook and hold. Johnson ripped through here, but Leggett is called for the foul.
No time went off the clock.
Enough contact there for you for that
Yeah,
foul?
I think so.
So Johnson just hit 2 big ones.
I did like, though, Steve Forbes changing up the inbounder.
Yes. Season high 12 for Johnson. All the talk about Pitt from the line. Wake is right there with him. 16 for 18. 1-1 for Johnson. And very, very calmly drains it. Cam Hildreth gives him a little bit of instruction before. 13 points, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals for Johnson. Give him another.
Still getting a quick 2 here.
5-point game. Lowe will pull up for 3. Too strong, and Leggett got it and then got fouled, and that is a 2-shot foul for Leggett on the way up. Fouled by Hildreth at 9.9, and Leggett will need to keep Pitt's perfection from the line going.
Not to see that again. He was in the act of shooting. They're giving him 2 shots. Steve Forbes is really upset, and Efton Reed's telling him, "Don't do it, coach. Not now."
Call that some veteran savvy. Boy, Steve's face has changed colors a few times.
You don't want to get one now.
Pitt is 19 for 19 at the line in a game that would take a minor miracle to win at this point. Wake 18 for 20. Leggett makes it 20 of 20 from the line. Amazing. And Dunn will come out of the game for Diaz-Graham.
Neither team with timeouts. Pitt just needs a deflection.
Would still be a 1-on-1 for
And a
one more
steal.
foul. Hildreth into Johnson, and there's a foul. So Johnson can basically seal this game at the line.
I like the way the management has taken place, though. Extending the game. I'm always big on trying to extend the game. How much can you manipulate that clock late?
So Diaz-Graham in for Diaz-Graham. That's Guillermo for Jorge. Dunn's in for Corhan.
I'd say this would be, if he misses that, this would be a 3.
You foul if you're Wake if he misses?
I don't like doing that, but there's a lot of coaches in this league, as I've polled, do like fouling. And now it doesn't matter.
Incredible poise by Wake Forest down the stretch. Johnson 7 for 7 at the line. His season high was 11. Today he's got 16.
They're in their 1-3-1 zone.
Austin has to hoist it. Austin misses it. Tipped out to Dunn. His 3 irrelevant. And it will count. Well, that is relevant to some.
Yeah, that's significant somewhere.
Hey, it's a win for